please mute your microphones. Christine and I are going to keep our microphones open, but if you guys would all please mute your microphones just in the event that someone's cell phone rings or we can hear you typing and click-clacking while you're listening and that sort of stuff. It just helps, and it's a really nice way to be able to be a part of the online community and not give feedback and that sort of thing while you're doing a video conference. All right. You ready to go, Christine?
You got it.
Sounds great. All right, so welcome everyone. Thank you all so much for joining our first ever online academic presentation for our incoming BA students here at the Batten School. As I said, kind of as you all were coming in and as Christine kind of mentioned, we're working through some of the kinks. So please, if something comes up and we are not able to, if you're not able to hear me or if my internet goes out, Christine's gonna jump in, she can help. We're doing this kind of as a co-host situation. You'll see that a lot in your classes over the next couple of days, purely so that when one person's speaking, the other person can be moderating the chat, or if somebody's internet goes out, that way you've got somebody else in the room who can help kind of keep the class going. So if at any point something goes out for me, Christine may jump in. We're gonna go back and forth on this presentation as we normally do. So if we experience problems, we'll have a recording. If we have any challenges, you'll have my contact information as well as Christine's contact information at the end. So please make sure to reach out and avail yourself of resources. We are doing remote advising. So just as you would traditionally book appointments for advising, we are just doing those remotely from our houses now. So the university's business is going on, and we are going to continue to do so from the comforts and confines of our homes. So here is the kind of table of contents for what we're going to go over this evening. This is the academic program for our BA curriculum. So first off, welcome to the Batten School. Yay. We are all very excited to have you. I know that you've spent a lot of time with Anne and Courtney over the last couple of months getting prepared and doing your application for the program. Christine and I have been awaiting this opportunity to spend time with you and to welcome you to the school and welcome you to become a part of our community here at Batten. My name is Amanda Crombie. I am the Director of Academic Programs at the Batten School, and my colleague who you will hear from again as well is Christine Nelson. She is our Assistant Director of Academic Programs, as well as our Registrar. And so we'll have kind of a conversation about what I do at Batten, what she does at Batten, and how we do it together to really round out the academic affairs team. The third part of what we're going to talk about is the BA curriculum, the Batten curriculum, how it's integrated, the major special topics courses. That's a lot of the questions I've been getting the last couple of days. Some other frequently asked questions, resources, and then there'll be a closing. If you chat over on the side feature during the conversation and we don't get to you, I will be sure that we get the information out, but please know we are also monitoring the chat feature. So if you have a question, please feel free to use that feature. I would prefer that you don't unmute your microphone and ask the question directly in the middle of this. We will give you time at the end to ask some questions, but just in an effort to keep this slightly contained for the time being. Normally I love question and answer back and forth during a session. I just am not sure how we're going to be able to actually do that online right yet. So I just wanted to kind of set a couple of those ground rules, and I hope that's okay with everyone. So first off, I'm going to welcome you to the Batten School. You are now in the Batten School. Actually, I guess starting in the fall of 20, you are in the Batten School. That means that the Batten School is going to confer your degree. You are no longer in the College of Arts and Sciences, even if you have a second major or a minor in the college, your degree requirements are now Batten School degree requirements. Those degree requirements we're going to go through in a few minutes, but I just want to make sure that we're really clear. Essentially, I consider, if you think about the globe, I consider the College of Arts and Sciences the US, and I consider the Batten School the little island in the Caribbean called Grenada, where I just was for spring break. So just so you know, you are essentially handing over your US passport for the college, and you are coming and moving and becoming a citizen over in the Batten School. And that's kind of the best analogy I can give you. The rules and requirements for the college do not apply. The Batten School rules and requirements apply. Perfect. This is where I would normally ask you for questions. I don't see any coming up over there, so I will keep going. Academic affairs, we are responsible for myself, Christine. We also have a special assistant for faculty affairs and an associate dean for academic affairs. And the four of us are responsible for overseeing the teaching operations of the school. As you can imagine, over the last few days, we have been working tirelessly to get the Batten School coursework ready to go online. So that is one thing we have been doing over the last couple of days. The other things that we manage are academic, within the academic affairs portfolio are faculty affairs, academic policies and procedures, as well as academic advising and mentoring, course offerings and student enrollment, student degree progress and student degree conferral, as I mentioned earlier. Hiring students for teaching and research positions, we help the faculty do that. We also develop and assess our curricula. So we have multiple curricula within the school, the first being the MPP curriculum, the second being dual degree curricula between the MPP and other schools. Then we develop the BA curriculum. The coolest part about the BA curriculum is the fact that our founder, Frank Batten, this was the program he really wanted for the school. So while it was the third program that was developed within the timeline of the school, this is the program, the BA curriculum, the BA program is really the topping on the cake for what Frank Batten really wanted for the Batten School of Leadership and Public Policy. And then we have a newly created minor that's been in existence for about 2 years at this point.
Sorry, I'm answering a chat.
Okay, perfect. Good question. Adam asked a question about, do we use SIS to sign up for classes? Yes, you are still going to use SIS. There is more to come. We also promote an active intellectual environment within the school, so making sure that people are a part of the intellectual community here at the school. Some information on the BA curriculum. We want to throw it all up there. There's a lot to talk about here. I'm going to go through it, but this presentation will also be available online, so don't feel like you have to scroll a bunch of stuff down right now. First things first, the Bachelor of Arts curriculum, you will be receiving a Bachelor of Arts degree. This is not a Bachelor of Science, it's a Bachelor of Arts. So it's a Bachelor of Arts in Public Policy and Leadership. It is not leadership and public policy either. So just so you know, it's a Bachelor of Arts in Public Policy and Leadership. To receive and have that degree conferred upon you, the major requirements are 13 core courses plus a 1-credit writing lab for a total of 40 credits. Then you also have to complete your competency and/or area requirements, or your forum requirements, or your new college curriculum requirements. So when that says plus competency and area requirements, think general education requirements, okay? It's not just the traditional curriculum. We accept all 3 of the general education curricula that the College of Arts and Sciences has you guys start. That's one of the really nice things about the Batten School is we don't require other parts of your general education requirements to be brought into, we don't require you to do different general education requirements once you become a Batten major. Foundations courses, there are 3. That's Intro to Public Policy Challenges, and Intro to Civic Leadership. Special topics, that is 3 courses or 9 credits. You can take 2 credit policy clinics or 1 credit short courses, but ultimately it has to equate out to 9 credits. No more than 2 courses or 6 credits can be outside of Batten mnemonics. So LPPA, LPPL, LPPP, or LPPS. Those are all of those courses that are not core are considered special topics. The next one is the context section. So 4 courses within the context section. That's institutional and political context, value and bias, comparative policy history, and integrating ethics. There is 1 capstone course, a 1 credit writing lab, and then 2 courses in economic analysis, which is economics of public policy and research methods and data analysis. That got cut off at the bottom, so I'm sorry. But those are the 2 more quantitatively focused courses within the major requirements. Somebody is asking, I see the one question, Oche, you asked about having to take your languages. You do still have to complete your language requirement, yes. We will talk a little bit more about languages and getting into courses and that sort of stuff, but if you have not completed through 2020 of a language, you do have to still complete your language requirement. The other one I saw is, what if CIS is reflecting undeclared major of arts and sciences? That'll be updated soon within CIS. Christine is actually working on that.
Yep.
And I'm your new advisor.
That's right.
Intended course sequence. So this is if you have not taken any Batten courses before you show up, when you showed up here today. If you've taken other classes already, like Intro to Public Policy, Intro to Civic Leadership, or happen to be in challenges with Professor Warburg right now, those courses, you just have more space now. So here's the intended course sequence. Again, 10 core courses, 3 special topics, 1 credit writing lab equals 40 credits, plus your general education requirements. Within your first year of Batten, this is what you really want to know right now, I'm certain. In the fall semester, you're going to take Intro to Public Policy with Professor Peter Johannesson. You're going to take, that is LPPP 3200. You're going to take Intro to Civic Leadership with Professor Eileen Chow. That is LPPL 3210. And you're going to take our 1 credit writing lab, which is LPPP 3001. That is taught by some of our graduate teaching assistants. You also have the ability to take special topics and or other requirements. One question I know you're thinking in your head is, can I take some of the 3rd semester fall courses early? I'm going to come to that in a second. We're going to go to the 2nd semester in the Batten program, and then we'll come back to that question. 2nd semester spring is Public Policy Challenges with Professor Jerry Warburg, LPPP 3230. Economics of Public Policy, also known as Public Finance traditionally, she calls it. That's Professor Molly Lipscomb, LPPA 4250. And then Institutional and Political Context with Professor Paul Martin, LPPP 4200. Within that semester also, you have the ability to pepper in special topics and or other requirements that you still have to fulfill. This is because the Batten major is only 40 credits, and we assume that you're going to take a fairly full course load up to 60 credits in those last 2 years. Essentially what we've given you the ability to do is double major or minor or any of that sort of stuff, completing other area requirements or competency requirements, maybe those foreign languages that people thought they were escaping or anything like that. Our Batten courses offered as Maymesters or J-terms. There are no core courses offered as Maymesters or J-terms. Those courses are the courses that are offered in Maymester or J-term or summer are all counted as special topics courses. Caitlin, that was your question that came up. Or Summer, that was, so we should have hit that one, but we'll talk about some more study abroad stuff. Christine's got some more information on study abroad as well. But the traditional J-term, Maymester, and full summer courses are special topics. So that's where you can pick up some of those courses. Third semester fall is research methods and data analysis, LPPA 4240. Value and bias in public policy, which is LPPL 3260. And then comparative policy history, LPPP 3255. Oh, and I didn't tell you who teaches those. Dan Player teaches research methods and data analysis. Professor Sophie Trewalter teaches value and bias. And Peter Johannesson teaches comparative policy history. I don't expect, there's not a test at the end of this, just so y'all know. The other question, the next semester is fourth semester spring. That is integrating ethics in public policy, LPPP 4210 with Professor Rick Campanelli, and then capstone is LPPP 4991. Those are varying different capstones. So each year they are different. Traditionally, we offer between 6 and 7 courses that students can choose from, and they come from very different policy areas. So this semester we have one on crafting peace in Northern Ireland. We have a course on social equity and social policy. We have a course on energy policy. We have a course on fixing a dysfunctional Congress. We've had war powers in the past. We've had courses on creating a new social venture. So all of those courses are offered as capstones in the spring of the 4th year. Those courses are always taken in the spring of the 4th year, so you cannot move ethics or capstone forward. In an effort to keep the cohort model, as you have seen students come into the program together and they exit the program, we keep the 3rd semester fall courses restricted to 4th year Batten majors. If you have a completely extenuating circumstance that I really need to consider why you would want to take a course from the 3rd semester fall in your 1st semester fall, so essentially from 4th year fall to 3rd year fall, you can email me and we can set up an appointment to talk about it. But essentially based off of the size of the cohort and really working to keep that cohort model and the cohesion together, we keep the 3rd years in the 3rd year classes and the 4th years in the 4th year classes. Does that make sense?
Unless you study abroad, then you might take your 1st semester and your 3rd and
all of those sorts of things. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about study abroad in a second.
Yep.
Within the major, so when you turn in your passport from the large College of Arts and Sciences and you move over to our Caribbean island at the Batten School, you have moved your school of enrollment. I want to be really clear about what that means. When you move your school of enrollment, you are now a Batten student. You now pay Batten tuition, which I believe that has been very clearly distributed to everyone, but I want to make sure because there is a tuition differential for the Batten school, so I want to be upfront and honest about that. Your requirements all become the Batten requirements, no longer the College of Arts and Sciences requirements. And if you decide that you want to have a second major, it will be your second major. So if you, when you come over to the College of Art, or when you come over from the College of Arts and Sciences, essentially any other major that you had before, so if you were doing a politics major or you were doing an econ major, that becomes your second major. Batten becomes your first major. That normally evokes questions, so please feel free to use the chat feature if that evoked a question for you. The average of 3 3-credit Batten classes are taken per semester. There's 4 in one semester if you haven't taken anything before you come in your 3rd year. Capstone seminars vary. I talked about that already. Timing of courses. None of the Batten core courses are offered in J-term or summer. Thank you for asking that earlier, Caitlin. Fall courses are offered in the fall and spring courses are offered in the spring. So we do not offer Intro to Public Policy in the spring semester. That is only a fall semester course. I do a lot of academic planning exercises with students. So as Christine mentioned, I become your advisor within the school. And so we really believe that faculty advising, they do a much better job at teaching and research and advising you in their areas of study. They don't always know all of the ins and outs of the curriculum. And so one of the reasons why we have professional advising is purely because I know how you can move this and move that requirement to be able to actually complete the degree within the time you need. And we want to make sure that we don't catch anybody by surprise. Special topics courses. Within special topics courses, there are 3 courses that are required 9 credits. Special topics courses must be upper level, so they have to be 3,000 level or higher. They must be related to public policy and or leadership. What in the world does that mean? That is a very open definition of related to public policy and leadership. If you can make an argument as to why a course relates to your study of leadership and public policy, I will consider it. There are some other courses outside of Batten that are already pre-approved. Some common ones that people take are Comm Law 1. I do accept Comm Law 1 as a special topic. So you don't even have to petition that one. It's already done for you. I do not accept Comm Law 2. So we'll take Comm Law 1, but not Comm Law 2. A lot of other majors will accept Comm Law 2, so that's one thing just to kind of note. Other courses, there's econ courses, there's politics courses, there's media study courses, media policy and law, I take that one. There's a number of other courses. One thing to note, if you are doing a second major, so if you wanted to be a Batten major with a second major in media studies, and that media policy and law class is required for your media studies major, you cannot double count it between your requirements for your major and a second major. You also cannot double count it between a major and a minor. Okay? So if you wanted a course like Comm Law to count towards your government major in related coursework, it cannot also count towards our major for special topics. You have to make a choice. Another one that comes up pretty regularly is Kirsten Gelsdorf's Global Humanitarian Crisis class. That one counts as an elective within the Global Studies program. If you're counting it for Global Studies, you can't count it for me. If you're counting it for me, you can't count it for them. So that's just one thing you need to note. There are a couple of exceptions within that rule, which is essentially in the Global Studies program, there is the ability to double count 6 credits. So please, if you are a Global Studies major, we probably want to set a time to have an academic advising appointment. And within anthropology, there are some allowed double counting, but those are the only 2 majors, and that is a long process that I'm happy to discuss with anybody who would like to discuss why other majors don't have double counting. I do have to approve any courses that come by petition for Batten Special Topics credit that is not an LPP mnemonic. So essentially, one of the questions was one of the questions is, how do I make an argument like on paper? No. So within your Batten Force portal, I call it Batten Force. It's how you book appointments with myself and Christine. It's how you do all sorts of stuff within the school. You request help for IT. That is where you will find the special topics and elective request form. It also is a place where you will find, if you wanted to do an independent study, that's where your independent study request form comes from. Persuasion and influence in the comm school. If it's counting towards an entrepreneurship minor, it can't count towards the Batten major credit. But if you took something like persuasion and influence in the comm school and I need to look at it, submit the form through your Batten Force portal. I believe that your Batten, within your admissions letter, they gave you and told you how to access the Batten Force portal, but I'm gonna hope that either Courtney or Ann, who are listening to this conversation, will chat us up over in the corner and tell us that for sure. If they don't, we will find out if you have access to that. Confirmed, yes. Within your admissions letter, you should be able to find access to the Batten Force portal. When you go in there and you log in for the first time, you will be able to make appointments with myself, with Christine. Right now, you also still have the ability to book with Courtney and with Ann. And they gave you, Courtney just sent you the link to everybody on the chat. Frequently asked questions. So first frequently asked question is about grades and academic standing. There are 120 total credits required for the degree. That is the same number as is required for the College of Arts and Sciences. We are not baiting and switching you on that one. So essentially 120 credits get you to the degree. You must complete all of your general education requirements through one of the 3 curricula that you started in through the college. And you must complete the Batten major requirements. That is how you get a degree of Bachelor of Arts conferred upon you. A minimum grade in the Batten major courses, that is core and elective. So in the core and special topics courses, we call them special topics, they're electives. Anything counting towards your major 40 credit requirement, you must receive a C or better in those courses. To remain in good academic standing, Bachelor of Arts students must complete at least 12 credit hours of coursework per semester. You have to earn a minimum GPA of 2.0, and you have to have no more than 1 grade below a C-. To have the degree conferred, you have to have a 2.5, just so we're clear on that one as well. To enroll in a 7th semester at the Batten School, students must have earned at least 84 semester hours. That includes approved summer transfer, AP, IB, dual enrollment credits, all the stuff you came in with, and everything else. I have traditionally not had any challenges with students moving on to the 7th semester, but just so you know, that's about making satisfactory academic progress. If you have problems, it's super important for you to contact your professor or contact your faculty member. If you are not getting the help that you need, please contact me so that I can help. Batten course load frequently asked questions. I actually got this one the other day from a student who I met with. The Batten school limits your credit per semester to 17. That's from the beginning. So we don't do a 15 and then in August it opens up to 16 or 17. From the time that enrollment begins, your credit limit will be set to 17. Requests for overload need to be made through me. It is not just a button that we click and sys, just so you know. If we approve your overload, Christine actually has to help you do the overload and put you in the extra class. It's not as simple as, oh, Amanda said I can overload, let her click a button. Christine actually has to manually help you get into the final class. What do I do if I have issues with one of my courses? Talk to your professor. If you have talked to your professor and you're not making headway, if you're having challenges, if you need help other than just things that are professor-like, a lot of our professors like to say they handle the student, the academic, the course things. I handle what academics does to somebody if they're having challenges, if that makes sense. So if you're having challenges with all of your coursework, If you're having situations with family members, or you're having challenges with any of the above that would actually affect your academics, that's again something to come to me with. If you're having challenges with one of your professors and you don't feel comfortable going to them, I find that doesn't happen very often, but it does sometimes. Please come to me.
Okay, we're giving
Christine's up.
Amanda a break, yes. As Amanda mentioned at the beginning, I'm Christine Nelson. I'm the Assistant Director of Academic Programs and the school's registrar. So anything you would have gone to Monroe Hall or to do the past 2 years, you will now bring any paperwork to me, as you will see on these slides. So any documentation, that includes transcripts if for some reason you are taking a course that you got approved to take, like last summer from the college, and they didn't enter the credit, they won't enter it now because you're a Batten student, you bring that to me. And we'll get to study abroad, but the same applies for that too. Depending on what it was, and if it wasn't pre-approved, then we'll need to discuss that and might need a syllabus. Any documentations, I've had at least one student, I've been at Batten almost 3 years, that for whatever reason didn't have their AP scores sent, but then decided as it got closer to graduation that maybe I would like that credit. So if you have AP scores that would have gotten credit at UVA and you haven't for some reason set the documentation, that would now come to me and we can talk about that. You can make an appointment if you need to discuss that further. The same with, we had a question earlier, this week work with the Central IT SIS folks to make you Batten students officially in August. Which does allow you to register for our restricted to Batten student courses for the fall. So that will be done before registration, don't panic. And I hope to do it soon so that you can look at we'll talk about the academic requirements report and see what you still need. If you've taken some Batten classes, you'll see that things are fulfilled. And I know that's confusing to talk about these things, not seeing that in SIS already. I received some information today I needed, and I will be sending that information on. Should happen, I would say mid next week, but there's a lot going on at the university right now, so it could take up to 2 weeks, but we'll work on that. And so once I've done that, if you have already declared a major, SIS doesn't tell me, oh, by the way, Joe was a major in econ, so I might need you to declare econ as a second major and bring that form to me, or just come meet with me and I can see in SIS some things as well. If you next fall or this semester virtually decide to declare a minor or a second major, you haven't done one yet, again, I know the major forms I checked with Judy Updike, the registrar at the college, are online and their forms page. Minors those forms are only through the department, so you may just have to email an advisor if you're looking to do that now. It can wait to the fall. We don't have deadlines except probably before April of your 4th year would be good. But to declare those, just make sure you declare and don't assume. And again, we'll talk about in the next year or two, continuing to check your academic requirements report to make sure everything looks as you expect for what you're planning to major or minor in. I do want to point out that you do only get one diploma, so just make that point clear. And we've had a couple of students disappointed that it does say Bachelor of Arts on it, not Bachelor of Arts in Public Policy and Leadership, unfortunately. Your transcript will say that, but you are just getting a Bachelor of Arts degree, a nice, beautiful, large one. So again, this says obtain the form from the college, which now you can do for a second major online, or if you wait till the fall, hopefully we'll all be back in Charlottesville and you can do that in person. Were there any questions on that? And then if you haven't ever looked at your academic requirements report, it is in SIS under academics. I think you have a different view than we do, but again, we can do that virtually or in our office in the fall if you need some help with that. Study abroad. We've touched on this a little bit. I've talked to at least one of you already. And as Amanda said, we don't have our core classes offered on any program, but we do have several courses that can be approved as special topics. The best time to go, as this first point is saying, would be summer or J-term or spring of next year. Again, mostly so you get comfortable being at Batten, you're meeting with professors, meeting your classmates, and then you would be taking those spring third year courses that were in that chart and spring of your fourth year, which makes it nice and tight. So that would give you 5 Batten core courses to take if you haven't taken challenges yet and you want to study abroad next spring. The same, we do not forbid fall study abroad, and especially if you've taken intro or to public policy or to civic leadership, that does open some space for you for your fourth year fall if you want to go this fall. I do know, as I've talked to our ISO representative, that applications are still happening for the summer. If you are interested in a summer program, and now that you're a Batten student, I keep getting students sent to me, there may be a form I need to sign. I can sign it digitally for you. Again, you can make a virtual appointment. We can talk about that. They are, what I'm saying, there's an April 1 deadline for some summer programs. And as of today, they're still proceeding as if all will go according to plan for summer. If that changes and the summer study abroad programs are canceled, your application fee and anything you've paid or committed will be refunded. So if you were interested in doing that, don't hesitate to try to apply and look at programs you had already thought about before last week or 2 weeks ago when our world sort of stopped. And again, I can talk to you on the phone if that helps, or through Zoom. And the study abroad folks are also working remotely, and they are holding appointments as well. So I don't know if you have study abroad questions, but we can talk about that later. As was mentioned earlier, 6 credits of Batten special topics can be taken outside of Batten. That sort of applies to study abroad. That would be outside of Batten. And there are some actual Batten mnemonic courses, which I mentioned in the chat. We had a J-term course in Vietnam this past J-term, and we've had Dominica going the past several May. There is an Oxford session 2 program that's a Batten mnemonic. So those would transfer directly as credit, and you wouldn't really need to talk to me with these forms I'm talking about. But if there's a program you're interested in that has something that can fit into a leadership or public policy type square of specialty, then we could talk about seeing the syllabus and making sure that does fit, and I would approve those. So we can meet at another time, or you can send me syllabi and ask if those would qualify. And we want to make it easy. It's a great opportunity to expand your horizon when you can travel, and especially internationally. And while I won't accept basket weaving, we can be, creative on what will count towards your special topics. So, and regardless, you would get credit toward your 120 degrees. So don't think nothing counts if you can't get special topics. A lot of students also do study abroad for their second major or minor as well. We had 14 students abroad this summer. So again, make an appointment through the link, and we can also send forms back digitally, as I've already done for at least one person. So I'm, as the registrar, not only help you graduate with the credits you need, working with Amanda and approving certain things and working in CIS behind the scenes, but kind of answer all kinds of questions that have to do with academics and your transcript. So if anyone's an ECHL scholar, similar to when you become a Batten major, sometimes CIS kind of changes things and now suddenly you're not an ECHL scholar. So don't panic. We'll have you check your academic requirements report after you become declared as a Batten major, and make sure that you're still showing that you don't have competency and area requirements that are missing. If you are, call me, email me, talk to me, and we'll get that taken care of. What is at issue, and perhaps you already know this, is the Phi Beta Kappa Honor Society, that they do need the competency and area requirements. ECHL scholars aren't able to get that honor. And as you can read about Phi Beta Kappa, it is the nation's oldest and most prestigious honor society. And I send information about the top 12% of our fourth year class and the top 4% of the third year class to the Phi Beta Kappa folks. And then they look at your transcript, and they want that, as you can see, that you've had, you're in the third year, you've had 60 credits under your belt, and that you have taken a full load. So that's, it's totally on your academic credentials, not anything you've done co-curricular at the college, no leadership. So that's why they're looking at the advanced levels of your academics, and obviously your standing in the class. So I hope that's confusing. You can send me an email later. So we've hit on double majoring and minoring quite a bit. I just want to make a point as I'm making the schedule for the fall, and that falls under my realm as well, that sometimes certain rigorous second majors with maybe one section of a core class conflict with one section of our core class, or etc. So we would like you to ask you to be very flexible and patient. We will do whatever we can to try to make requirements work for you and your scheduling as we can, as there's room in classes, or if we have two sections of something. But just note, I have several fourth years that are like, I think I'm dropping that second major to a minor, or I'm decided not to pursue that minor, and it's okay. Again, you're still getting one diploma, one degree. So we want you to succeed and do what you would like. Certain courses that you want to show a certain skill set will still be on your transcript, even if the actual minor or double major is not. So it's not failing to change mid-course, to increase to a double major, or to go down to a minor, or to drop both. But again, we're here to help you to see if you can do it. It may require a J-term or summer class. It may require overloading a semester, which again, you would need Amanda's approval. So again, we want to be flexible, but sometimes the classrooms availability and the core class you have to take for us may conflict with something. And just if you go in knowing that, that would be most helpful to us. And again, we're here to help, but we can't move mountains or classes sometimes. So just know that we're trying to get our students to graduate with their BA. So here's some other honors that you can also receive that are listed on your transcript. Commencement honors are also noted on your diploma. So if you're looking to pursue some of this, keep this in mind. And the Dean's List happens every semester. For Batten, you have to take at least 15 graded credits. A lot of our third years make the Dean's List, and some fourth years decide we'll just take 12 credits, so they don't make the Dean's List. That's okay. But if that's something you want, no, you have to take 15 every semester you would like to achieve that, and then you have to make a 3.7 as well. That's combined coursework, not just Batten coursework, with no Fs and no credit courses. So another rigorous semester to get the Dean's List. A lot of our students make it. So, and now to some resources. Back to Amanda.
So resources, the accessibility of the Batten faculty. We do a survey of the student experience every spring semester, and one of the most highly rated features of the Batten School is the faculty and their accessibility. So one of the things we want to make sure is that you have access to our faculty. They are all holding virtual office hours at this time. while you don't have a faculty member serving as your standard academic advisor, you have access to all of our Batten faculty, and we encourage you to approach any faculty member for consultation in their disciplinary realm at any time. Shoot them an email. If you look at our Batten faculty webpage, we've got people doing some really cool stuff. From different areas of policy, Professor Gelsdorf and all that she's done through the United Nations and the Humanitarian Collective, what people are doing with the Center for Effective Lawmaking and seeing if congressmen and women are effective when we elect them into office. We've got people doing research in global development policy, all of those different areas, social psych. We really encourage you to reach out to faculty to talk with them about their disciplinary realm. I am happy if you come into my office and say, Amanda, I'd really like to do this. I can normally give you 3 names of people who are doing something really cool in education policy or who you should talk to, and I'll give you their email addresses. I'm happy to be that conduit for people. And that's a lot of what I serve as people, as we've gotten your academics and your core plan set for your semesters. And then it's about how do we actually round things out and get you in touch with the students or get you in touch with the faculty members who are doing the research you're interested
in. Be proactive.
Yes, be proactive. Some other helpful tips. This is just generally good stuff to know, but essentially professionalism in class and in groups. If you commit to doing something with a group, be there, be committed, be a part of the team. A lot of our group work really, a lot of our coursework is group work. And so we really want to make sure that we foster that good team environment, that you're not the one who's dropping the ball within your team. There are times that other things become overwhelming, and I totally get it. But when you're in a team, making sure that you're professional within that team, and that means showing up and being a part of the team and actively engaged and participating, as well as in class. Some of our classes do have a no cell phone / computer policy during class that will be noted directly on the syllabus. But I really encourage students at all times to lean into your classes, even if there's things that you find, I don't particularly like this professor, I find this to be a little bit boring. No matter what, I really want you to lean in and really want you to work on being a part of an active and engaged intellectual community that we strive to have here at the Batten School. The Batten School does have listservs. One thing to note is that everyone, including myself, Christine, our Assistant Dean of Students, Jill Rockwell, are all on that listserv. So when you write out and say, hey, does anybody want to go out to the corner, or can anyone, purchase me alcohol, we all get the email. So please note, I only stress this because I have received emails that I did not need to know about. So please make sure. Normally what happens is at the beginning of the fall semester, everybody gets together on a group me. They always have a Batten food group me. Make sure you join in on that one again back in the fall when we come back to grounds. There are options for Batten Hour. I hope that everybody has heard about Batten Hour. For the time being, we are working towards putting Batten Hours online over the next few months, purely again, because it's one thing just to take your classes online, but we really are wanting to make sure that the Batten community and the Batten culture is built even during this time when we're all going to be remote. And so I really encourage you to check our website for information on Batten Hours as we bring those back in. You will have access to Garrett Hall. Starting in August, when you come back, you will receive swipe access to Garrett Hall. So please know that that is an option. And then getting involved with the school. We have the Batten Undergraduate Council. We also have Women in Policy. We have BSLIP. What else? The Latinx group. Thank you. The Latinx group, we have all sorts of different student groups within the Batten School. I know that a number of you are already super committed on grounds, but I do encourage you to also become ingrained within the Batten School community. It's just a really awesome group of people. Oh, thank you, Anne, BLN, Batten Latinx Network. Thank you. There are groups within the school, and so we really encourage you to get involved not only with your coursework but also with extracurriculars within the school. Academic info that is on the web. This is our current web page. If you are looking for student resources, somebody way better than me at graphics pulled out that little page and then gave you the arrow so you can see it. That is how you find our Batten student resources within the web page. So please make sure that you check that out as well. I'm reading back through one of the comments or questions about resumes. Do we use our discretion to choose which to display, or do we put our Batten GPA? A lot of times the Batten GPA is higher. What I would suggest in your resume is that you list it as your major GPA, not just your cumulative GPA. Your cumulative GPA will be everything that you took towards the degree, all 120 credit degree requirements. And your major GPA would be any coursework that is being used towards your major. Within your academic requirements report that Christine mentioned earlier, it will calculate your Batten GPA, your major GPA for you. So you can check to see if that's higher than your cumulative GPA, however you choose to do that. One of the things Christine mentioned is career services. You also see that in this web page that is highlighted here, just in the next column over under career and career services. The Batten School has our own career services within the school. So you have access to UVA career services, but you also have access to dedicated Batten career counselors. Steve Hiss and Hannah Guffey are the two directly related to career services, but Assistant Dean Jill Rockwell also helps with career services. So I encourage you, when you come back in the fall, you will not have access to them via the Batten Force portal right yet, but you will have access to them starting in August. I encourage you to make appointments with them when you get back in August, so that you can touch base with them if you're interested in internships for next summer, or as you're plotting out what it is you would like to do for the job search. They're going to become really important to you during your fourth year.
There was a question about course registration and priority. The core courses are restricted to Batten majors, except for our larger lecture courses, which you may or may have not taken already. And because you have to take those courses, we do save seats if you haven't taken it already in those courses. Some of our more popular electives, we will save some seats, but your rising third years, you're probably you'll get electives before second years and first years anyway. So just, we try not to do things like that because it naturally occurs because you're upperclassmen. So.
Ellie, does that answer your question? Is that everything you needed to know about that?
Oh, that's the end.
That's the end. So Christine and I have managed to take this hour to tell you a little bit about the Batten BA program and the overall general curriculum structure. We hope that it was really helpful. We are going to stay online here for the next few minutes. We are happy to answer any chats that come through the group chat. We are also happy if somebody feels the need to unmute their microphone and wants to have a quick conversation that everybody can be a part of. That is fine too. Please know that there are no questions there's no stupid question, first off. The second thing is, if you have a question about it, I am betting some one of the other 40 participants on this call have a question about it. So please feel free to post it in the chat. Don't feel embarrassed. Everybody has some question about how this transition works. So I've tried to hit the highlights of the questions that I know I hear a lot. But if you have something that's really specific to you, I highly suggest you make an appointment through the Batten Force portal, and we can have time to chat. So please feel free to do so. One question we have heard recently is questions about course enrollment for the fall. There are a number of conversations about timing and different things for the fall semester. Currently, it is set that your shopping cart opens on Friday. That said, I do believe that they are looking at all timing of all courses registration, both for summer as well as fall and all of that sort of stuff. If you have not heard the message that for this spring semester, the date to withdraw from a course with a W was moved from earlier in the week till tomorrow. So the last day to drop with a W is actually for the spring semester of 2020 is now tomorrow. Please do know that, but be on the lookout. You will receive a full, detailed, chock full of information email from me that is about advising for the fall semester. We have held off on sending that out. Attached to that email will most likely be this PowerPoint, but this PowerPoint will also live on the Batten website. We have created some new Batten websites that talk about admitted students and have access to this PowerPoint after today, so it's not there yet, but please note that this PowerPoint will be up on the Batten website separately later, coming soon, most likely by Friday. Please feel free to book appointments with myself or Christine if you have any questions. Otherwise, we are so looking forward to having you over the next 2 years at the Batten School. If anything else comes up, like I said, we will hang out for a few more minutes and be on the group chat for you to answer any questions you may have. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you. Nobody wants to leave.
Nobody, well, I don't think anybody knows they can leave. Now you can totally leave, and unless you have questions.
Oh.
Good question, Emma. Thank you. There will be no advisor hold for you once you become a Batten student. I do not place advisor holds on anybody. I am not going to require all of you to come in and see me just to smile at me. When you see this academic advising email that you will receive, you'll understand why. You do not need to come in and see me. There will be no hold on your account. I recognize that right now it appears that there is a hold on your SIS account. It will disappear when we switch you over to be a Batten major starting in the fall. Awesome.
You're welcome.
Yes, you're all very welcome.
It's good to see some faces. I hope you all have an easy time as this tomorrow in your classes. Yeah, it'll be great. It'll be great. Bye.
If you don't know how to leave the meeting, in the bottom right-hand corner, click Leave Meeting. You can leave anytime you want. Michael is asking if I've already declared a major, do I switch it to a second major with the department or with Batten? You do that with Christine. When we switch you over to be a major within the Batten School and you become a BA for the Batten School, it will drop your first major. But Christine, I see her writing feverishly down your name, most likely Michael Kearns. so that she knows that you have a major already and you want to keep it as a second major. But I would highly suggest when things calm in the next 2 weeks that you grab an appointment on Christine's calendar just to make sure that happens.
If you kept the form, great. If not, it'll show insist that you've already declared it. I just need to know. So shoot me an email or book an appointment would be perfect. But I also noted it, so. You're welcome.
Absolutely.
Down to 8. Hey guys. You can also, I guess we didn't say send us emails. They're going to get your email already.
Thanks for the orientation. Have a good day.
Absolutely.
You too. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. I'm going to stop the share.
Perfect.
And
Lauren and Brown, do you have questions or are you just still hanging out?
No, I'm good. Thank you
Okay.